Hello Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast for May 18th through the 24th. We're going to check out with this deck here and see what's coming up the week ahead for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we are going to pull a spirit message for you all from this lovely deck here. Aries, I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you're doing all right. We're going to touch in here. You guys had a pretty intense channeled angel message for me. We do have a Venus in retrograde situation going on, and that can stir up emotions in people. But for some reason right now, as I began connecting with your energy, I felt a little bit emotional, like release, like just kind of like releasing, like wanting to get stuff off my chest. So I don't know if I'm tapping into somebody specifically, or if some of you may be feeling that way right now. I was okay. But for some reason right now, as I'm tapping into the energy, I just feel like, whew, I just feel like there's a lot coming to the surface. But we'll see what the cards have to say and what might be coming up in the week ahead for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Keep in mind, guys, Venus retrograde may have us in our feelings. Some people might get really sentimental, thinking about the good old days. Some people might be taking a trip down memory lane and kind of just examining your life and your experiences with people. Venus retrograde also has a tendency to get us thinking about stability, like ways that we want more stability in our life, what stability means for us. So sometimes we can get like deep in thought, deep inside our mind and our feelings when we've got the Venus retrograde energy. So your first card here, my dear, see right off the bat, Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is a scary looking card, but it actually has a positive message. And no, I'm not being a Pollyanna. I'm not like one of those people that's like, everything is sunshine. You know, I'm pretty realistic. But I will tell you, Eight of Swords does have a positive message, even though it can be a very scary looking card. And the message is this, Aries. Some of you, as you're in this Venus retrograde energy, and we came out of a pretty heavy Scorpio full moon not too long ago. So a lot of you might be seeing what you want different in your life. You might be coming to a realization where you're like, aha, this is it. Like, this is what's missing, or this is what's going to make me happy, or this is what I wish could be different. But then Eight of Swords happens when we feel kind of stuck or unable to make that change. We start feeling discouraged. Like, I know what the answer is. I know how, I know what would make things better. I just don't know how to get from point A to point B. Like, I just don't know how to make the switch or make the transition. So when Eight of Swords comes up, we're kind of looking or hoping somebody might step in and help us. Aries, you guys are pretty independent. At least the Aries that I have known in my life have been pretty independent. And maybe some of you are tired of it. Maybe some of you are like, you know what? I would really like somebody else to step in once in a while and save the day. I don't want to have to be the one to save the day all the time. So you guys might be feeling a little bit stuck in some way, or unsure how to make a transition from one situation to the next. But the message with Eight of Swords, which is positive, is this. As we look at her here, she's got this fabric, or whatever you want to call it, this strip of cloth tied around her, but it's not that tight around her. She can wriggle her arms out of there. She can get her wrists free. She can get this off of her. She can pull the blindfold off her eyes, and then she would be able to see, you know what, the swords aren't even all the way around you. You've got plenty of room to move here. And you can see little stones and things here that she can step on, right? If she could just take that blindfold off, she'd be able to see that there's a way out of the situation. And that's the symbolic meaning of the Eight of Swords, is that there's a way out. We're just kind of, with our mental perception, not seeing it in the moment. So if you are open to working with your angels and guides, you can absolutely ask them to step in and to help you see positive solutions that are going to be in the best and highest good for all involved. Help you see solutions. If you're feeling stuck because you're feeling in some way like you're lacking something, you can always call on Archangel Jophiel to help you with that, to help you see yourself as heaven sees you, to help you be more loving towards yourself mentally, in like your mental dialogue or the way that you're speaking to yourself. But definitely, Aries, you're coming up onto a time of action where you're going to have to take big steps. and big changes. And so Spirit is trying to prepare you for that and letting you know, encouraging you, like, you know, your cheerleader, like, you got this, you can do this. It's not as scary as it seems. But I just heard Goliath. This is my Goliath. This is my Goliath. If you're not familiar with the story of David and Goliath, real quick, it's a biblical story. You can just take it however you want to take it. You know, just if you want to take it as like a fable or whatever. I'm not telling you have to believe in the Bible. I do, but I'm not telling you that you have to. But there's a story in the Bible about David, who's just a really simple shepherd, and basically there's this giant, this big massive giant that's like tormenting, like the Philistine army was like, you know, just like kind of tormenting the people, and there was this giant that was, challenging them. And so basically it was like, look, if one of your guys can take down our giant, then we'll call a truce, or we'll pull the army back. It was this challenge. Just one of your people beat our giant, and you will be able to, we'll be able to, like, you know, just surrender or walk away. So the king basically said, anyone who can take down this giant is going to have like half my kingdom and can marry my daughter, or something like that. And so David just had a slingshot. He had one little pebble and one little slingshot, and he couldn't even wear the armor. Like when they gave him a sword and they gave him the armor to go out there, it was too heavy for him. He was young and he wasn't that strong. So all he had was the slingshot and the rock, and he took down the giant with that. He flung the stone at the giant, took down the giant. So some of you might say, oh, well, that's impossible and that will never happen. But let's just take like the moral of the story, right? It's like, even though you might be in a circumstance where you feel like you're dealing with someone that is more equipped than you, or more experienced than you, or even bigger than you are, there's always an angle. There's always a way. Right? Even if you were dealing with a literal giant, right? Chances are, if you caught that giant off guard, or at the, you know, just precise moment or precise angle or precise way, even if you can't take down that giant in hand-to-hand combat, you can take them down in some way, right? It's kind of mind over matter. So Aries, this is what Spirit is letting you know. Even though you might feel the odds are against you, or even though you feel you have to face a situation that's really big, or you're having to face a person that you're feeling intimidated by in some way, there's a solution here. Don't let your fear blind you. Your next card here, my dears, is Six of Swords. And Six of Swords is a card having to do with getting away from drama. Sailing towards more peaceful waters, you know, figuratively, maybe sometimes even literally. And sometimes Six of Swords comes up in a reading where there's actually a physical relocation about to happen. Okay, so I see this come up when somebody has already relocated and they're like, oh man, did I do the right thing? And this is coming up to say, no, you're on the right path. Or somebody is trying to manifest a relocation, and this card comes up to say, yes, you're being, guided to relocate, and you're going to be able to do this. Now, for some of you, this is a general reading. Keep in mind, it's a general reading. For some of you, this shifting, this like kind of making an escape or getting away from drama, it's going to be more of transitioning from one circle or group to another circle or group. You may be realizing and seeing that there's a lot of people around you that are creating drama. They're just like, instead of helping, they're creating drama. Like as I'm doing your reading right now, Aries, I feel like I'm in a room and there's a bunch of people, like a bunch of like friends, family, like people you've known a long time. And they're all there and they're all like debating with each other what you should be doing right now. And it's like everybody's talking at once. Like I can't even make out what everybody is saying because each person wants to be heard and each person's talking over the other person. It's like just chaos. Absolute chaos. And so some of you, Aries, are dealing with a situation where you're feeling overwhelmed, like you're feeling like people maybe are too involved or they're being too opinionated about what you need to be doing or how you should be handling a situation. and you're just wanting to get away from it. You're wanting to get away from it. Some of you maybe reached out to a group of friends, or maybe reached out to family more recently, and you wanted to reestablish a connection, and you're being reminded why you left to begin with. You're like, oh, okay, all right, so that's why I pulled away, because I just feel like it's just everybody's talking over each other, and it's stressful. It's very stressful. Even though I feel like a lot of the energy is people that mean well. They might mean well, or friends. You need to be doing this, Aries. You need to be doing that, Aries. Like thank you for looking out for me, but man, like just like let me hear myself. Let me hear myself think. That's what it feels like. So some of you might be looking to get a fresh start in some way, and to get away from drama, just to get away from drama. Some of you are just sick of arguing, sick of fighting. I just heard eloping. Now guys, keep in mind, I keep the love and romance separate from the weekly forecast, because YouTube is flooded with love readings. I have nothing against love, okay? I've got nothing against it. It's not number one on my priorities, but I have nothing against it. And I know there's a lot of people that they're sick of the love readings. That's why I do a separate monthly love reading. And then the weeklies, I try to focus on other areas of life. But sometimes it might come up. And right now, as I'm looking at the Six of Swords, I do feel for some of you, maybe you've been planning a wedding. Now there's this whole thing happening in the world, and it's like things are postponed and all this stuff is happening. Some of you might be thinking of eloping. Some of you are just like, there's just way too much drama. There's way too much hassle. You know, why am I going to spend all this money and be around people that are getting on my nerves, or who aren't really happy for me? So I do feel some of you may be planning some kind of like eloping, or you know, if the courthouse is open where you're at, like going to the courthouse or something, or just like as soon as you can, you're just wanting to go off and to do what you need to do in terms of tying the knot and starting this new life. So let's check out your next card, Aries. Your next card here is the Empress. Okay, now this is really, really interesting. Oh gosh, I don't know what it is, Aries, with you guys and Libra, but the Empress definitely is associated with the feminine angle or feminine side of Libra. So there could be something happening here with a Libra, where like a Libra is trying to extend kindness or nurturing towards you. Or if you have a Libra in your chart, that aspect of you may be coming up. But let's put Libra aside. I just think it's so interesting how you guys keep popping up in each other's readings. I don't know what's going on there, but something's going on there. But for other ones of you who don't have a Libra in the mix, the Empress is going to be about creativity. And maybe that can still apply to you even if you do have a Libra in the mix. Empress has to do with creativity. It's very nurturing energy. It's coming into your power. It's very much like matriarch energy. So some of you may be receiving a blessing from a matriarch. It could be a matriarch who has passed on. Or it could be... gosh, I don't want to get into this. Some of you may feel like there's a matriarch, and let me explain what matriarch is. Some of you might not know what matriarch is. Matriarch is like in a family, a woman who's kind of like in charge, or like the wise person of the family, or the person that people go to for advice or help. So it could be a grandmother, it could be an aunt, you know, like the person who kind of holds things together. And so there could be a grandmother or like a maternal figure who maybe is nearing the end of their days. And so you may be receiving a lot of guidance from this person, or they may have already passed on. You may be receiving a lot of blessing and care and watching over, visitation through dreams, through spirit that might be really kind of guiding you. Like you're feeling that this help is coming in. Some of you may be inheriting something or taking something over in terms of a family business or property or something that's being entrusted to you. It can feel very overwhelming, Aries, but if you weren't ready for it, it wouldn't be here now, okay? But overall, Empress is creative energy. It's loving, it's nurturing, it's the divine feminine. So you're embracing the divine feminine energy, or if you are seeking a feminine partner, you are manifesting a divine feminine into your life. You're aligning with that energy. Your next card here, Aries. Oh, what happened? Your next card here, ooh, is the Hierophant. Okay, so this can be Taurus, Taurus energy, but overall the Hierophant has to do with commitments, traditions, agreements. It could be marriage. We talked about eloping, or some of you are kind of wanting to head in the direction of starting your life with somebody and kind of separating from like your family and starting your own family or starting your own tradition. But the Hierophant has to do with commitments across the board. So it can be contracts, it can be business agreements. It could be, like I said, some of you are taking over some obligation or responsibility that maybe you're inheriting or it's being passed down to you in some way. And the Hierophant would be definitely aligned with taking on that commitment, that responsibility, tradition, order. Hierophant also has to do with like the difference between right and wrong. And it can sometimes come up when truths are being revealed. So I do feel, Aries, that some of you might have someone like, okay, because I'm hearing like, okay, here's what happened. Here, I keep hearing, here's what happened. Here's what happened. So maybe you're preparing to walk away from a situation or a person. You feel information is being kept from you. And somebody might see that like this is it, that you're really like you're fed up, you're done with waiting. And so I feel like some of you have someone confessing something to you or revealing information that had been kept from you. And for whatever reason, I feel like it involves money. It involves finances. So somebody is coming clean about some financial matter. Okay, it could be a work situation with an employer where you've been waiting on a promotion or waiting on a raise. It could be someone who borrowed money from you. It could be somebody that you're doing business with. This is a general reading, so this is going to come in different ways for different ones of you. But for whatever reason, I feel like whatever the truth is being revealed has to do with money, has to do with finances. Aries, for some of you, gosh, I'm just going to say this. I feel some of you are dealing, like you're coming into your power, but I feel some of you are also dealing with a very, very powerful, very kind of like in charge, masculine energy, like a father figure, a mentor or a father figure. And I feel like this is the person that might be revealing a truth to you. Like this is what happened, or this is the situation. And I feel like this person might even cry. And I feel like it's going to be difficult for you. Like you're going to have mixed emotions. Like you maybe have a lot of anger towards this person. But I think in that moment, you're seeing this person not as this big powerful mentor or not as like a father figure, but you're taking a step back and you're seeing this person as a person. Like this is a person, right? Like when you're a kid and you're in school, you don't realize your teachers are regular people. Like you see your teacher in the grocery store or something, you're like, oh my god, my teacher goes to the grocery store. Yeah, they're a person, they're gonna go to the grocery store, or when you're a kid, like you don't really see your parents as people. You just think of them as like, mom or dad or grandma or whatever, but you forget that they're a person. So I feel there's some chance here of having a clean slate with this person. You may still be keeping a distance, or you may still be going on this new path, but I feel something is happening in which like the desire is like, let's not have bad blood between us. Let's, do what you got to do, but let's have peace between us. So it's almost like a confession, like somebody's coming at you with some kind of a confession. Be patient, hear them out. It's not easy for them to tell you what they're about to tell you. And if you can, try to be compassionate towards this person. And, you might just need to go and breathe a little bit after the interaction, because I feel like it's hard for you to see this person express emotion in this way. Not sure what that's about, but that's coming up, and that's going to be truth for some of you. Let's go ahead and see what's happening here with your spirit message for the week. And don't forget, guys, watch your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those are going to resonate with you more than others. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you want to click on the Calendly link in the description at the end of the video, you can schedule a private reading with me there. So here you have the Morning Dew Girl. As always, I encourage you to look at the card, see what colors and symbols are jumping out at you, what it means to you, and kind of just go from there in terms of using your intuition to take a general reading and connect with it on a personal level or personal way. So Morning Dew is absolutely going to be about new beginnings, something being cleansed, something being made new. And that really goes with that Six of Swords you guys got, right? Like this energy of wanting a fresh start, wanting to just kind of clean off the old energy. And the meaning of this card, per the creator of the deck, is about facing your fears, awareness, consciousness. And so it's talking about, even though fear can be powerful, once you confront your fear, you're able to see that it's just a little small drop of dew. And that really, really goes in connection with the Eight of Swords. We talked about perception in the beginning, remember? If you don't believe me that this is what the creator of the card says, you can even see it here. So, oh gosh, if I could just get the focus right. See? So it says, while, right here, while fear can be powerful as a river, once confronted, it may turn out to be as small as a drop of dew. So the whole thing with perception here, right? Fresh beginnings, new beginnings, overcoming fears. You have the power. By the power of Grayskull. Aries, I don't know if any of you are He-Man fans, She-Ra and He-Man fans. Any other little 80s babies out there. But you have the power, and you can do this. You can do this. You've got this, Aries. You've got this. It can be overwhelming, but or it can seem overwhelming, but you've got this. If you weren't ready for it, it wouldn't be here. Alrighty, my dears, maybe you want to check out your moon sign and rising sign video. If you'd like a private reading, go ahead and reach out. I'm more than happy to do a private reading for you. A lot of you are asking me about the giveaway. I'm the free reading. I'm giving away a free reading in the tarot deck that I used in the May love readings. Those are, I haven't chosen the winners yet, but I'll be picking 2 winners, one from Facebook and one from Instagram. People have been asking me, how do I get in the drawing? It's not a drawing. I'm not like collecting names and keeping a record of names. I'm going to go through the social media posts, Instagram and Facebook, and look at the likes, look at the comments, see who just kind of jumps out at me in the next week or 2. And I'm going to pick one person for a free reading to win a private free reading, and one person to win the deck of cards. And it's a new deck. Yes, it's the same cards I used in the love reading, but it's like it's a new set. It's not my personal copy. It's still wrapped in plastic and everything. So whoever wins that is going to be the first person to crack it open. And like I said, in the next week or 2, I will choose the winner from the social media. And I'm going to keep doing this every month. Every month I'm going to give away a free reading. And every month I'll give away some kind of a prize. It'll be a different prize every month, but also a free reading. So 2 winners every month. If you are in another country and you end up winning the deck, please keep in mind your country may have restrictions. The person that won the deck for April is in Botswana, Africa. And I went to the post office. I have no issue shipping overseas. I'm happy to do it. But they told me at the post office that Botswana is not, or Africa in general, is not accepting any mail from the United States right now. So if that happens, if you're in another country and if your country has restrictions, there might be a delay getting the deck over to you. I would let you know, of course. I would message you and say, hey, the post office said I can't mail to your country right now, but as soon as the, ban is lifted, then I'll get it out to you. So just keep that in mind. If you're in another country, if your country is not accepting mail from the United States right now, there might be a delay receiving the deck. Okay? So yeah, if you want to be in for that, just be on the social media. Truly Divine is still offering you guys the 30% off with the discount code. That is still there. They're still, you know, offering sponsorship and giving you guys that discount. If you haven't gotten your forecast or your natal chart analysis and you're still curious about it, you still have time to get the 30% off. That's linked in the description. I thank you guys so much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Have a wonderful week, my dears. Take care.